On today's wrestling news, CM Punk is injured.
A veteran WWE superstar is set to challenge Ronda Rousey for her title.
A SmackDown star gets a new gimmick.
And Sammy Tay get engaged day.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time? That really set me off then. Subscribe, before we get into it, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you think of today's videos. And Sammy Day, the blah blah.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, let's just get into it. CM Punk's injured.
I can't laugh
completely
about that.
thrown me
Come on,
off.
Phil.
This is really bad. So he came out on Rampage last night and he was kind of limping as he was walking down to the ring, and the commentators were kind of heavily suggesting maybe that he could have been injured at that match in Dynamite. And he just cut like a really impassioned promo saying that like the wheels haven't fallen off yet, but one is just broken and he needs to fix it up, put it back on, and he'll be right back to it. It's a really good promo from Punk, like 5 minutes or so. I'd highly suggest you go and watch it all. But it creates a much wider thing within AEW of what's actually going to be happening with that title belt that he obviously won really not that long ago at Double or Nothing. So Punk is going to go out. He's got surgery to have on his injury. There is no word yet on what this injury actually is. Kind of suggested that it's something to do with his foot or something around there, especially with the way he was kind of limping coming down. And he sort of hinted that he's okay, just like a couple of the bones are broken kind of thing in his promo. So yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what exactly that is and how long this means he's going to be out for. So there's no word on any of that yet, but AEW's plans are being put in place as to what to do while he's out. So he's not dropping the title, but there is going to be an interim world champion put in place on next week's AEW Dynamite. So the opening match of that show is going to be a battle royal to determine the person who will face Jon Moxley in the main event of Dynamite, and the winner of that will become the interim AEW champion and go on to Forbidden Door as the champion. Now, they didn't mention if the Tanahashi match is still the match that is going to happen, but you've got to kind of assume, like they announced CM Punk versus Tanahashi for the AEW title at Forbidden Door, so you imagine that they'd go down the same route with whoever they pick to be the interim champion, but we'll have to wait and see if plans get shuffled around for that as well. And then later on down the line, whenever Punk is ready to return, there will be a unification match to bring the belts back together and have one champion again. In all of this, Excalibur as well said that Moxley was the number one contender, even though like Wardlow is sort of number one in the ranking system, which is a little bit interesting. But we'll have to wait and see who that exactly will be. And there will be more on this later on in our Twitter questions. We will get into some wild speculation. But first up, thoughts on Punk's injury?
Yeah, it's a tough one, this, because obviously I did a bit of a write-up yesterday on Punk, like off air on Dynamite after MJF had cut his incredible, just epic promo. Punk came down to the ring and like chased him off, and he was limping during that moment. But my wrestling worked mind was just thinking, oh, he's just selling probably some injury or like a knock that he took in the match before. Like that's literally what my mind went to. I thought, oh, he's just ever the pro, he's just selling this leg, because Punk, like, you wouldn't put it past him, would you? But now this has come to light. It's a bit like, oh no, why'd you come out, Punk? You were hurt, man. Stay in the back. And like you said, it does seem to be leaning towards, even though it's not officially been confirmed at this point, that Tanahashi would be the kind of end game for whoever wins the Battle Royale and like that Jon Moxley kind of number one contendership fight. It looks like that. Like that's what most outlets are pretty much reporting right now, that does still appear to be the case. And it looks like, again, the word on the street is, like you said, a broken foot is looking most likely, or like a couple of broken bones in that. Like you said, the wheels haven't completely fallen off. He's still sticking out there. And I think it was Tony Khan. I think Punk literally went up there to Tony and said like, oh, I'm willing to relinquish this. I'm willing to like just drop it. And Tony was like, no, I still believe in you, man. Let's keep all about. And it's something that AEW they've got priors in, do you know what I mean? Like, they've done it with the TNT strap, they've had the interim one. Just for the love of God, whoever does win that unification strap, title match, whatever it is, do not wear both belts. I know they're pretty.
Yes.
I know it's nice.
Hopefully they've learned from their mistake.
Just do not wear two damn belts, okay? But that's, I don't know. I feel like this is making the best out of a crappy situation. I'm looking forward to the Battle Royal. It's, in my eyes, like it's a chance to again, we'll probably allude to it later on, but it's a chance to build someone potentially, not just maybe go for the obvious. The obvious is always going to be there in my mind. So maybe do it. Use this entire terrible situation to do something good and just shine a light on somebody that wouldn't normally had it in the past. I think Punk could probably lean towards that as well. Somebody who likes to build for the future, all the rest of it. Speaking of building for the future though, Phil, last night a veteran, an absolute veteran of WWE, won a match to be Ronda Rousey's next challenger. That's WWE love building towards the future. Two very different companies. That's what we're going through right now. Because last night's Hell in a Cell Go Home edition of SmackDown, it had like the six-pack challenge is what they went with, because it's a bit familiar, isn't it? Yeah, it's almost like one of those terrible WWE inside nod things that they do. But also, let's just...
Hey, at least it wasn't one of those champion contenders matches where you beat the champion to be able to face the champion.
You're trying to suggest there's progressive, Phil. Don't do that. Not on SmackDown. That doesn't exist. But in this match, we had Natalya, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Aaliyah, Shotzi, and Xia Li, who just suddenly returned, has not really been on television much, and she was thrown into this match. And they had a decent enough, like, kind of just, I don't know, it's a lot of people thrown into a match. Like, you try and get your stuff in, get to the finish, and hope for the best. But in the closing stages, Rodriguez hit the Tahana bomb, because it's not allowed to be called the Chingona bomb now. On Shotzi, it looked like she was going to win, because Raquel's been in that position, and why not throw in there again? But then Shayna Baszler came from behind, put her in the Kirifuda clutch, yanked her away, and Natalya just kind of dropped on Shotzi and stole the win. So it wasn't even like an emphatic victory, it was just a sneaky, haha, I've got the win now kind of victory. And it does seem to suggest maybe we go down a Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez route for a little bit, and that'd be quite fun, because they're two completely contrasting styles, two pretty good damn wrestlers in their own right. That'd be quite fun to watch. But yeah, this moment is looking like we're going to get Natalya versus Rousey at some point in the future. It was not mentioned specifically when that match is going to happen. It doesn't look like it's going to be Hell in a Cell, because Michael Cole was really tiptoeing around that, and he was saying it's going to happen at a later date. We're going to have a match at a later date, not Sunday. Like, that's pretty much where we were going with that. So it's going to be interesting. They've worked together a lot, obviously, in the past. Like, they're close friends. They've trained together. She tagged a lot with Natalya on Raw during her first kind of run in that incredible rookie run that Ronda Rousey had. And then in more recent times, she's tagged against Natalya a few times. Natalya's been teaming up with Shayna Baszler. Rousey's been on the same team as the likes of Raquel Rodriguez, Sasha Banks, just loads of people to take her on. So they got chemistry. It's a trusted partnership. Who knows? It could be fun.
It could be. You never know.
Be hopeful.
Not going to say I'm hugely excited about this, though, I've got to say. Yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that women's division at the minute. There's not really a lot of excitement there. This match with Natalya, it's fine. It'll be fine, whatever. And like, Shayna Baszler's a long way from where she used to be when she was running through people at the Elimination Chamber. And she really needs to be fixed and pushed again properly. Because Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey, with that Shayna Baszler from a few years ago when she was tearing through Elimination Chamber, would be incredible. Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey now, don't really care about it. And then you've got like Raquel Rodriguez, obviously, is really good, but she's still sort of new to the roster and still figuring things out, and they're still making her smile way too much. And they've already done the match with Ronda Rousey there. So, twice. So, yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that women's roster. We'll get there, maybe, hopefully.
That's not very helpful, but it's just so strange seeing this Rousey run right now. She should be one of the biggest stars on the damn planet, and she's just kind of there.
She really should.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's sad. It's not what we wanted from this Rousey one, unfortunately. But speaking of SmackDown, we have a new gimmick on a wrestler. It was a little bit strange. There was a moment earlier on in the show where an ambulance was like reversing up to the camera, and then the doors just kind of burst open, and there was Madcap Moss in his little black trunks. And the commentator was like, "It's Madcap Moss!" And then later on, he came out to cut a promo. I really don't understand that little bit, but whatever. It is what it is. So he's cut a promo. He has new music. He's got his black trunks, new gear, no suspenders anymore. And he basically talked about that when Corbin attacked him with the Andre the Giant trophy thing, Corbin thought that would be the end of Madcap Moss, and he was right. because he's buried that old Madcap Moss and then this new Madcap Moss now, and he's angry and he's serious, and he called out Corbin, and obviously Corbin came out and they had a bit of a back and forth, and then Madcap Moss wanted a match against him, but Corbin didn't want a match, and then Pierce came out and he made a match anyway, but the match ended up really being just really quick little attack from Madcap Moss. Basically, he was throwing Corbin around on the outside into the barrier, into the ring posts and stuff, and then Corbin went to get a chair. He missed when he swung at Madcap Moss. Madcap Moss took the chair and he attacked Corbin with it. DQ finish, so Corbin won the match technically, but Madcap Moss went mental with the chair afterwards, attacking Corbin, and then he got the chair, put it around his neck, and he was going to throw the steel steps onto the chair and murder probably Corbin, but loads of officials came in, broke it up, and basically this is all leading to a match at Hell in a Cell. SmackDown finally has a match at Hell in a Cell, and it's Madcap Moss versus Baron Corbin in a no-holds-barred match, which should be good fun. I think they need a big payoff for this. I think it's a good change of pace for the Madcap Moss character. A little sad about the suspenders not being there, I'm not going to lie. I did kind of enjoy them.
I mean, there's that. The suspenders line just completely caught me off guard, but it was the ambulance thing, within WWE storyline. It's like he's been injured, gone into this ambulance, recovered,
and not come back out for 3 weeks or whatever.
Been, transformed within this ambulance. I'm back. It's farcical, hilarious though, absolutely hilarious, and I think this is great for that Madcap Moss. He needs to change the name up, doesn't he? I mean, the Madcap Moss.
Yes, the name. I was surprised the name didn't go at the same time as the music and the sort of clothes and the rest of the gimmick.
I'm surprised he's not got a really.
Seems odd that he's still called Madcap.
I'm surprised he's not got a really nutty hat that he wears. Do you know what I mean? Madcap, for it's only a matter of time. But he looks better. He looks a lot better. The way he's dressed up.
It's probably only a matter of time until he comes out and he's just Moss.
Here comes the Moss, just
which in itself maybe not
slowly
the best name.
Growing into your so there we go. Moss taking on Cobb at Hell in a Cell. It's going to be great. Can't wait for the no. But I think it'd be a good match. I'm not going to lie. I do think it'll actually be quite a surprising match. Unexpectedly good. But speaking of things that are unexpected, I'm not going to say really good. Sammy Guevara. No, that's very disrespectful of me. But Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti have now officially got engaged. Congratulations to them. They've gone to, I think they went to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, as you do, to go and get engaged. The TMZ have broke this news that Sammy got down on one knee, and she said no. She said yes, because that would be a twist even I couldn't handle. Obviously, these two have been heavily involved in the Man of the Hour, Dan Lambert, American Top Team, sphere recently. They had that Double or Nothing 6-man where they teamed together with Kazarian to take on Paige Van Zant, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They lost, and that means Sammy obviously can't challenge for the TNT title as long as Scorpio's got his nice strap. But he obviously doesn't care because he went to Paris and he proposed to his lady. She said yes, and it was all good stuff. TMZ wrote this about it. They said, "Take notes, fellas. AEW superstar Sammy Guevara popped the question by proposing to his pro wrestling star girlfriend Tay Conti at the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and she said yes, every exclamation point ever used on any form of print. Guevara, 28, asked Ty, real name Tainara Melo de Carvalho, to be his wife with one classic old school fashion." Oh wait, no, I think I jumped ahead. "One of the world's most iconic and romantic structures as a backdrop. I am professional." In classic old school fashion, Sammy got down on one knee before asking Conti, who he's been dating since December, to marry him. 26-year-old Conti wore a mauve pink. They go on about what they were wearing because it's TMZ and they just want to talk about that. "They look stunning!" exclamation point. Of course, Ty managed to show off the new rock her future husband got her, while Sammy held the Brazilian wrestler in his arms with a massive smile. Sammy and Ty are regularly paired together in AEW programming, and it appears they have undeniable chemistry, both on and off screen. Congrats, TMZ evidently watched Dynamite, don't?
Yeah, I don't know what else I can add to this. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. I love love. Love's nice. Just
it is.
Don't put it on my wrestling TV anymore. Thanks.
Yeah.
So moving over to your Twitter questions, and who'd have thunk it? Most of them are about this whole CM Punk situation, so I'm going to rattle through a couple of them that all basically say the same thing. But we had one from Grant Willis who said, "Hope you're enjoying the long weekend after MJF's line to Punk after Revolution. This isn't over until I piss on your grave. Is this the perfect time for MJF to win the interim title, leading to MJF versus Punk 3 for the undisputed AEW Championship?"
Very
Maybe.
glad
We
you
also
didn't
had a
say
question.
Something else. I thought you were going to say something else.
From EMJF, who says, with Punk now injured, is MJF the new champ? The promos alone would be epic. He wins, throws the belt to the floor and begins, so now you want me, Tony.
Yeah.
And another one from the F-Bomb specialist who says, what do you think of this? MJF wins all the way to the Interim World Championship. CM Punk comes back to win his title, and then the AEW version of Cena versus Punk from 2011. Basically, we've got a lot of questions about this Punk situation and who we think is going to happen. And it seems like people might want MJF.
Yeah, understandable. Hottest guy in the company right now outside of Punk, and now Punk's not going to be there for a while. Hottest guy in the company right now. So why wouldn't you double down on him, maybe taking the company ransom, maybe holding them to ransom with this belt, and that'd be so compelling in itself. But there's also the Moxley contingent, and I get that, like, because Moxley's Moxley. He helped us through the pandemic era. He's our guy, and he's overcome so much in recent times. Why wouldn't you want Moxley just holding down the fort for a bit? Either way, it's looking like it might go towards MJF and Moxley in that like number one contenders match. If MJF just suddenly takes over the battle royale and wins it through whatever means, like that'd be an incredible moment in itself. It'd be a rematch, obviously, from, I think it was Full Gear a couple of years ago. Full Gear or All Out, one of them, and there could be that, or you could go down the route of just building someone completely new, or like giving somebody like Wardlow this massive moment, this massive opportunity, and then having MJF screw him. I don't know, just there's a lot of storyline potential here. It gets me excited, it gets me intrigued.
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads of ways you can go with this. Wardlow's intriguing, but then you'd have to do the Punk match, and like when Punk comes back, you'd kind of expect Punk to win unless they just completely change plans, and Punk's like, yeah, actually this makes a lot more sense, I'll just lose to that guy and then we can rebuild another championship run for like a couple of years down the line or whatever. All the MJF stuff is very, very tasty, but that stuff with Tony Khan is still not resolved yet. 100% not resolved yet, and I just don't see that happening so quickly. But Moxley's an obvious one because he's served us very well through the pandemic, and he was incredible back then. And it, just as a kind of thank you for driving the company through the pandemic, I can see them giving that to him. And then he'd also be one that would probably be absolutely fine losing to Punk whenever he comes back, and then they can just resume what Punk's reign was going to be. But what if you just throw out a complete wild card and you've got the kind of Blackpool Combat Club versus the Jericho Appreciation Society thing going on? Why don't you just go with like a Daniel Garcia and just throw a like complete wild card? He comes out, he beats Moxley. He had that great match with him the other day, and then you could easily do something where he loses to Punk down the line, and it'd just be a complete out of nowhere wild card win for a few months while Punk's out.
Eddie, because then he'd have the asterisk next to it, and that'd just be another thing to beat him with.
That's true, actually. Eddie Kingston's another very intriguing one. God, there's so many things you could do here, and especially when he lost to Punk, and he's always got that asterisk, like he's never been a real champion. That's good.
Just love it. Just love it. Oh, I love wrestling. It's great.
All of this is good. So basically, can go loads of different ways, and every single way is pretty great.
Yeah.
So the next question comes from David Lynch, not the David Lynch, unfortunately.
David Lynch!
Who says, morning weekend legends, do AEW need to start running more pay-per-views a year to help them wind up storylines quicker, increase exposure for the mid-card and women's division? I was thinking going to every 2 months from 3 and doing 6 a year rather than 4. What do you think?
I think I like the pay-per-view system as it is now. They feel really special. They feel like can't miss events right now, which I think is part and parcel of what makes AEW what it is. I'd say instead of maybe doing more pay-per-views, I'd put a lot more impetus and put a lot more behind the specials that happen, and really make those specials break up the pay-per-view calendar, like your Winter is Coming, like things like that. You've got the Road Rage that's coming up right now. Like really make those into big events, make those can't miss things in their own right, and then you can build storylines that do pay off at those kind of events, like your Blood and Guts and things like that. I think AEW do this, but they could probably do it a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a real nitpick, but I think if you do just double down on these kind of events, you won't feel the need to have more pay-per-views.
Yes, I feel you, but like 2 more pay-per-views a year I don't think is a huge amount. I'd kind of be down with that as an idea. It'd probably cut down on the Tony trying to shove 5.5-hour pay-per-views down our throats every single time. Maybe some other guff could go because there's more opportunities for other people on other shows. and just sort of spread it out a little bit. I'd be down with that. And I think
I
two
wouldn't
more.
be
Yeah, I wouldn't go
chopping
past
down
6.
the length.
Yeah, I'd say 6 like is a max. Like maybe add 1, maybe add 2, but something just to spread it out a little bit. I'd be down with personally.
Yeah, wouldn't be against
but the
more
final
wrestling.
question. Indeed, yeah. The final question of the day, I really like this question, comes from Josh, who says, morning, I am on my way to his 24-hour firefighter shift right now.
Sounds like he's watching an AEW pay-per-view.
Imagine having like a real job where you had to actually do real things.
Hey, we're professionals, Phil. Don't you forget it.
Anyway, it makes him think, which 3 wrestlers would you want to ride a fire truck with you for the day? 1 person in charge, 1 person driving, 1 person as the other firefighter.
Oh, I love that. That's great. I just go pure fire gimmick, personally, because I'm a fool. I don't understand what the job of a firefighter is. I'm just going to put really
You just want to put
wrestlers.
fire in the fire truck.
Fire. And I'm just going to go Kane.
Easy.
He's going to be one of the fighters with me. Chris Jericho's driving it because he's a wizard. And then Seth Rollins was the other one, because I just want, whenever like we get to the actual scene of the fire, we open the door and all I hear is, burn it down! And that just instill absolute calm and just peace in all this situation. Yeah, so
100%.
that's what I do. I'm opting for entertainment, not, public service.
Fair. Well, I'm also hoping for a quiet day at the firefighter office, because I am 100% going with who will I put in charge? I'll put Bryan Danielson in charge. I'm going to put CM Punk behind the wheel. I'm going to put me in there, and I have to do it. But the other firefighter is going to be the Ryback, and I just want to hear CM Punk and Bryan Danielson go in on Ryback for 24 hours, because it would be absolutely incredible, and I love everything to do with Bryan Danielson's maybe borderline bullying of Ryback.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Do you know what I thought you were going to do there? Because I watched the Carpool Karaoke of Bryan Danielson, Punk, and Christian Cage and Britt Baker the other day. I
That is what made me think of it. If the Ryback was in that car, I would watch that show all day long.
My God. Yeah, no, I'd be there. I'd be so there for that, Phil. That's just, oh my God, the chaos. That'd be more, what's the word? The more combustible than the actual thing you were gonna go and put it. I didn't think that through.
Have you ever watched the Table for 3 with them?
Yes, it's very good. Very good.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love everything to do with Bryan Danielson and Ryback. Huge
Fire
fan.
for 3.
Hey, there you go. Anywho, that is the end of the video. Thank you very much for joining us. If you want, you can follow us over on Twitter. You can follow me at Phil My Chambers, and you can follow Gareth
at GMorgan04.
And you can follow all of us at WhatCulture WWE. Let us know in the comments down below what you want to happen with this CM Punk situation. Who do you want as the interim champion? Who do you want to match to be against Punk, etc., etc.? Let us know. It's all very interesting. And subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below. We just said that. And yeah, watch more videos. That's what you do on YouTube. Watch more videos. Have yourselves a bloody good day.
Bye-bye.